Hi, I'm Russ Karma,
And I'm Cheryl Karma.
and you're watching
Karma
Cinema
Cinnamon Reviews.
Reviews. You said
Why do you-
cinnamon again.
I don't care. Why do you go so slow? It's not
Because
supposed
I'm
to be
making
slow.
sure, I'm trying to make sure you're in pace with me. You want to
Yes,
try it
but-
again?
Okay, let's try
All right.
it.
Hi, I'm Russ Karma,
And I'm Cheryl Karma.
and you're watching
Karma Cinema Reviews.
That was a little better. We're getting a little better.
Yes, but you're still like pronouncing one word at a time.
I don't know, Karma Cinnamon Review, because it's kind of a tongue twister if you say it too
That's probably
fast.
why I always say cinema instead of
Cinnamon?
cinnamon or whatever
Yeah.
you keep saying I'm saying.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we're here to review film. And you know what film we're reviewing today?
We are reviewing Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Movie that was done in 1998 with Tom Hanks, Edward Burns, Tom Sizemore, Jeremy Braves, I can't even read my own writing.
Davies.
Or Davies, sorry, that's what
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
supposed to be a D.
Vin Dan
Diesel.
Diesel.
Vin Diesel. V-I-N.
Yes, okay.
Like
Adam,
Vincent. And then a diesel truck.
okay, Adam Goldberg, and directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot to write
Legendary.
out. Yes,
Steven Spielberg.
Yes, who it was by? Who came out? Was it just Paramount?
Pretty
Or-
sure it was Paramount because we actually watched it on Paramount.
Yeah, but they didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
but it
I'm-
was. Go ahead.
I'm just assuming that it's Paramount.
Okay, because I forgot to do that part. But anyway, the budget was 65 to 70 million. And the opening scene, the battle scene, cost 12 million alone. But it did come out making in the box office 481.8 million. And it's follows a group of soldiers on a mission to locate Private Ryan and bring him home safely. And it won a Global Award.
Global.
Is it Global or Golden?
Oh, a Golden Award? No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
it's a Global
Award and Academy Award.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's all I have for that one.
Oh, that's all she's got.
As far as the
this
intro
is,
to it.
This was directed by Steven Spielberg, and of course he brought us such iconic films as E.T. and Jurassic Park and many others, but I think those were like his two. This movie and those two were like his two biggest films. And this, I guess it was a real passion project for Steven, and you can really tell, man, because this is an amazing film. It had a rock star cast, like such a strong cast, and I guess we should kind of get into
The trailer.
the trailer. Yes.
Let's get to the trailer for
I
you.
totally forgot about the trailer. first I'd like to start off and just, we actually did something a little different for this film because of how amazing it actually is. We did some research, a lot of research going into it, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple of YouTube channels that we watched videos on for this film. It was History Buffs was one of them, which is really good. Heavy Spoilers was another one that pointed out a lot of Easter eggs, and I think there was one more, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. You know.
I think I watched Spoilers, so
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, and it's hot in the M&M room.
That's not sweat, though.
That
I
is
think
sweat.
Really?
Yeah,
I
that
thought
is
that was
sweat.
just from you wet from your shower.
No, that is sweat.
Oh my gosh, go away from me then.
Oh my god.
Hey,
But
God.
yeah, I mean, should we talk about the cast, I suppose?
We can talk about the cast.
Yeah, we could.
Forgot to write down which characters they play, so.
Well, you got
You
the
tell me.
legendary Tom Hanks as Captain John
Yes.
Miller.
Yes, and we all know what movies he's in.
Yeah, Big,
Big.
Toy Story,
Toy Story, of course. I know this.
Castaway,
Thank you.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
I mean, there's too many to really
yeah,
say because
of course.
every film he's in, he's just amazing in. You know?
Yes.
There was Sergeant Mark Horvath, which was played by Tom Sizemore.
And Sizemore was in Natural Born Killers, and Born on the 4th of July, and Lucifer, the TV show.
Yep, and there was Richard Riben, which was played by Edward Burns.
Which is known for 27 Dresses, The Holiday, and played on Will and Grace on TV.
Stanley Mellish, which was played by Adam Goldberg.
And, of course, Adam Goldberg was in Days Confused, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, or was it 10 days? Yeah, 10 days. And Ed TV, and then he was on Friends and ER, and he was also the famous writer, director, whatever you want to call him, of the Goldbergs on TV.
Yeah.
That was him.
And then there's
So,
Daniel Jackson, who was played by Barry Pepper.
I don't know. That's one I didn't have. You know what?
I know him
wrote
from
down.
the Knockaround Guys. I know there's other films. He's kind of a character actor, but I grew up with him, so I know Barry Pepper by name and face. You know.
Why 5? Why do I only have 5 of the 8
I don't know.
on
There's
here?
Giovanni Ribisi, which he played Irwin Wade, the medic,
See, I don't even have Wade on here.
and then Timothy Upham played Jeremy Davies. Or I'm sorry, Timothy Upham was played by Jeremy Davies, and then
Yeah,
of
see,
course
and that one I have. He was in Twisted Sister, Black Phone, The Flash, and Lost.
yeah,
on
I
TV.
think he was the murderer in Black Phone.
Ah,
And then Adrian Caparzo, played by Vin Diesel, which you know we know him from the Fast movies and Groot, and he was the Iron Giant also. A lot of people don't know that he voice acted the Iron Giant. But yeah, man, you know, this like I was saying, I mean, like this film was really amazing, but I was really like blown away at the simplicity of all of the characters and how well they still worked. You know, because Tom Hanks, he just plays the captain, and then Tom Sizemore, he plays the sergeant, and then of course you got Riben, you know, the character Riben, he's just the tough guy from New York, and then Mellish or Fish, he's the smart-mouthed Jew, you know, and then you got Jackson, who's just the religious Southern boy. Wade is the medic, and all he ever wants to do is take care of people, you know. And then you got Caparzo, and he's just some Italian guy. And then Upham, of course, is the rookie. He's the scared rookie, you know. And they're just like they actually are pretty simple characters, like but they worked so well, you know.
yeah.
Because I don't know. I guess
Hilly Street.
I guess the film. Well, yeah, the chemistry that's true, and I think the film wasn't so much about the story as it was as the theme. You know, like it was about presenting what World War II was like. You know, and so I think that the story really wasn't as important to this film as an art piece because it did so well at presenting what the environment was like, what it was like to endure that.
Yeah,
You know?
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And even with all them, it was like like a true brotherhood, which
Yeah.
you hear all the time from
Yeah.
soldiers. You know, that's
Yeah, which we
their
forgot
family
to
out there. Yeah.
also say that Matt Damon was also in this film. He plays Private
Oh,
Ryan.
duh.
Duh. You know? And like
Know him from Ocean's 11 and
Good Will Hunting.
Oh, Good Will Hunting. Duh.
Yep. The Bourne
Yeah.
movies, you know. But yeah, Matt Damon. But did you want to tell him the funny fact about Matt Damon's casting, or?
Did I know that one?
Oh, well, so when Steven Spielberg decided to cast Matt Damon in this film, it was because he was an unknown. But by the time they
I
had
almost forgot
gotten
about this part,
ready
yeah.
for filming, you know, Good Will Hunting had already been released in theaters,
Yeah,
and
so-
Matt Damon was an overnight movie star. So that was kind of funny because that
Yeah,
was the whole
I
reason why
almost
he
forgot.
got the part.
Yeah.
But he's, you know, I guess the opening scene, like, I don't know, do we want, are we ready?
To talk about the opening scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. The battle? Yeah.
No.
Why not?
No.
Oh.
The
Oh, well, see, there I go again. I
Yeah.
always forget that's
Yeah.
even an opening scene because I just don't, I don't care for the opening scene when they're at the cemetery because they need some dialogue in there. Because
Yeah,
even
there-
at the end
there
when
was
they
very
bring
little
it back,
dialogue in this
yes,
film.
when they bring it back, at least the family's like behind the background, you know,
Yeah.
like they're all there just kind of like, you know, the younger, the grandkids
So-
or something are trying to learn something, you know, and all that. So they're like, oh, look, Grandpa, you know, they're like talking among yourself in the background stuff.
So the
Go ahead.
opening scene is you see a World War II vet and his family, and they are visiting the American Normandy World War II cemetery. And you see it as this old war vet collapses in front of a gravestone. And it kind of lulls you into thinking that this is going to be Tom Hanks's character, the way the transition works. But I didn't think so because I picked up right away that Tom Hanks has hazel eyes and this actor had blue eyes. And I didn't notice this, but they did bring this up in a video that I watched, that if you look at the pin that the actor was wearing in the scene, it is from the same division that Ryan was serving in, not that Tom Hanks was serving in.
Shouldn't I never paid attention?
Yeah,
to
I didn't
what-
really pay attention
what
to that either.
one he's serving anyway.
But this scene was corny, wasn't it?
Yes, because like I
It's
said,
pretty
these
corny.
people are standing behind him. His family's like standing behind him, sort of. I don't even know if they're standing, if they're all kneeling or what.
Yeah.
And they're just staring, like they're staring into a lens, camera lens or something, waiting for something to jump out or something to happen, for it to click or something.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know, I mean, it's like,
Just look straight into
Really?
the camera.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
this
know?
this is something that I
Could've
really
been like-
noticed on these last couple of watch throughs that we did, that everything outside of the war is really corny in this movie. Like all the scenes that take place in America are like outside of the war. I thought were so corny. Like everything that was within the confines of the World War II flashbacks or whatever you want to call them, you know.
Well, you know, maybe they kind of did that on purpose now that I think about it. Just like they didn't spend much time on
Yeah.
it. They said, let's get this because we want everybody to
did.
like focus on
Yeah,
what's going
I
on
think-
here. So let's like do something that people won't even really be paying attention to over here. So they're stuck onto this.
I kind of feel that way
Yeah.
too, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing I want to point out, man, is that
You're a
this
dork.
is supposed to be Private Ryan in the beginning of the film, right, in the graveyard.
Yeah.
So when he has a flashback, he wasn't there on the beaches of Normandy. He wasn't with Tom Hanks's crew, the whole thing. So if he's having a flashback, he's got to be imagining this whole thing. So it could have gone down any what way.
I mean, you got a point, but I don't think you're supposed to be thinking about that.
I know,
And now
man.
people are going to go and watch that movie and be thinking that, and it's going to ruin the whole movie, if you ask me.
All right. Are we ready for the best scene of this film?
Your best scene.
It's my favorite.
Yes.
You know, it probably is. It's the Battle of Normandy, the storming of Omaha Beach, which they actually didn't shoot this scene on the Normandy beach because the French government wouldn't give Steven Spielberg clearance to shoot on the beaches of Normandy. They actually shot this in a beach on a beach in Ireland, and it looked pretty similar. You could have fooled me if you would have told me that was Normandy in the film. I would have taken your word for it. You know, like the location did look really good. I also like this scene changed the way that war movies were shot and directed in cinema, because before we didn't really do reenactments. We did dramatizations, and they were there to glorify the American army, you know. Mm-hmm. And this scene was just there to try to show you as accurately what it was like to be there. And man, they got so close. Like, even the few things that they got wrong, there's such minuscule stuff that, you know, I don't even really... I was able to quickly overlook the few things that were inaccurate just because, like, yeah, they did such a great job at that. And that's what I love about this film. I don't really like war films before this one because I feel like it was almost... I feel like other war films are kind of propagandist because they don't show you how awful war really is. They try to make it look like it's this great thing, you know, and it's really just...
Well, I don't know if
really,
that's just it. I mean, even this one, as far as this one goes, it's the only one I can think of that's literally just like war, I guess. I don't know. Because all the ones I think of are just like, you know, have to do with during the war.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know what to really judge it by, is what my point
Yeah.
is,
Well,
as far as, you know, war movies go.
I mean,
you know?
When they did Glory, you know the movie Glory?
Yes, but Glory was at a
movie
different
was not
time.
accurate.
But that movie was at a different time.
But
And
the
to
war
me,
wars were worse back then than they
to me,
are
that was
now.
more about, like, the slavery and stuff and how the black, you know, in the war and all
Yeah.
that and the suffering they went through, but to fight for the country themselves too and all that. So I don't know if that, you know, like I said, you can't really judge that by that because it was a different aspect or whatever you want to call it.
I'm just saying they glorified.
It wasn't just the fighting straight out,
Yeah.
you know, battlefields. That's what I'm, you know,
Well,
I don't
thought-
know. Maybe that's just me,
I
I
thought
guess.
that film spent more time glorifying the American army and less time showing you how bad war actually is. But that's my opinion.
No,
You know?
but I don't think that movie was meant to show you how bad the war was.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that this film is the first time that they kind of did that. Steven
Yeah,
Spielberg,
well, that's
he
what I'm
was
saying,
he was
you
trying
know.
to show people how awful war can be, so we
Yeah.
could come to our own conclusion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This one, that's why I said I don't have anything to judge it by,
Oh.
because this one was basically about the battle or the struggles of going through the battle, even though the main point of the movie was to save Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Through that, you're going through each section, every little bit of war, you know. So that was the main focus.
Yeah.
Where the other ones I've watched have been, you know, about, you know, like, I don't know, stuff going on in the war instead of just the war. You see what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're
I
saying.
might have mixed up. Well, hopefully our viewers do, because I'm sometimes like a little woof when I try to explain things.
I'll say this scene was so good that there were a couple of war vets that were kind of a part of some of the production of this film, and they had to drop out because of this scene. It gave them such bad flashbacks because of how accurate it was, which kind of shows you just how amazing this scene really was. I mean, I don't know, man. You know, from them storming the beaches to taking it over, you know, it was pretty amazing. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to it.
Not as far. I mean, we can mention how they used some of the wounded.
Oh yeah,
amputees.
Yeah,
no, because you want to hear me try to say that word.
No,
that's why you make fun of me.
So there were
the wounded that actually, that you see with no arm or no leg or whatever, or actually they ended up using amputees for those parts, extras that had that, so that they to make it look as real. Yeah,
they had 1,500 doubles for this scene,
and right.
30 of them were amputees. That's why the people missing their limbs, it looked so good, because they actually were. And I thought that was kind of cool that Steven Spielberg gave so many handicapped people
that's
a
why
job.
He's also good too, because I mean, look at what he does to make his movies as good as he does.
Yeah,
he goes all out, as far as he can go. Yeah
he really does, man. And he is amazing. This is an amazing film. And one of the things that I did really like about this film was its exposure for PTSD, because at 1998 we didn't really have a great understanding of what PTSD was. And I thought that Steven Spielberg made a very successful attempt, not just a good attempt, but a successful attempt at showing what PTSD accurately looked like as it was taking place in a battlefield, with Tom Hanks in a shaking hand, and then Goldman, after they had finally stopped fighting, he was laughing and joking with his guys, and then he had to stop and just start crying. It was very accurate. And I applaud this film for that, because I'm pretty sure this was the first time that a film at this magnitude had tried to crack that subject so accurate. This battle had probably my favorite dialogue in the film, which is when those two guys shot down those surrendering German soldiers.
Oh.
And they were they had their hands in the air, and they were trying to tell them that they were surrendering in a different language, and the American soldiers just shot them down. And one of them was like, "What do you say?" And the other guy said, "Look, I washed for dinner." And I always laughed at that. But
do you remember what they were really saying though?
Yeah, but when I became an adult, I looked into it, and they were speaking Czech, because those guys were supposed to be Czechoslovakian. And when Germany invaded Czechoslovakia, they started taking POWs out of the camps and forcing them to fight for the German war. And they were saying in Czech, "I'm not German. I haven't shot anyone. Please don't shoot me." And that was another thing where Steven Spielberg was trying to show you how gray war is. It isn't good versus evil. It's two opposing sides, and everybody does shitty things when the bullets are flying. And
good point.
But yeah, it was kind of a grim discovery when I realized what that scene was actually doing.
Yeah.
And by the time this scene wraps up, we see, it shows you the last Ryan brother, the third Ryan brother or whatever, laying on the beach dead, which leads us into our credit, of Saving Private Ryan, which also led into my least favorite scenes of this film, which they go into the letter writing room, where they're when the women back home, they would type up the condolences letters for families when their sons had fallen at war.
Which I'd hate that job.
Oh yeah, it'd be an awful job, man.
I think that job alone would give you,
PTSD.
PTSD. Just having to sit there and write it over, because it's not like nowadays where, we can make or whatever and just copy them, or just add a name into the computer editing,
They had to
and
type
just
each one out, man.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah.
just read it over and over again about this person dying, this person, and you could see how many they're doing.
Yeah.
But anyway, go on.
So you kind of see when they're typing, like one lady, she notices that she has a letter for two of the Ryan boys, and she runs over to this other lady's desk, all in a dramatic huff, and finds the third one. So she runs into her superior's office and is like, "Oh my God, look, I found 3 Ryan brothers." And the guy's like looking here and then looking over at his superior's office, and it was just too corny for me. Like the way it happened, it was way too Hollywood.
To me, you exaggerate on the way that goes.
I think
It may have been a corny scene. It may not have been needed. Like I said, I think they put those in there, did what they wanted to do with them. They didn't spend much money on these scenes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, she's sitting here typing these letters. She realizes she has 2 Ryans in her file. And maybe even sits there and says, hold on, I think I've seen another Ryan even.
Yeah.
And then sits there and finds the other letter. So she goes to her boss.
Yeah.
And tells him, hey, I believe we have 3 Ryans here, and there may be
I don't
another
know,
one out.
dude.
Or, we at least have 3. I don't think she knew about the 4th one.
Yeah.
And then the other guy is like, okay, so we're going to have to send these 3 out to this woman all at the same time. And so he went to his captain, that's when I think they found out that there was another one still out in the field. Is by his boss.
I don't know. I just thought it was
know?
kind of over dramatized.
I think you over dramatized it, but that's just my opinion.
Which you do see Bryan Cranston in this scene with one arm, and he's a little cameo from Breaking Bad, or he was Malcolm's dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's one of my favorite actors.
And I've never watched either one of those, so I wouldn't know who you're talking about.
And then, I mean, the next scene, of course, is when they drive down the laneway to give the letters to the mom, and she collapses. Which they actually had an American flag. They had all 4 Ryan boys in a picture next to the door, and there was an American flag covering up James Ryan's face. So it would be a mystery, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this scene made me think of Big Mouth, because in Big Mouth they did a parody of World War II, and they had this scene. They made a parody of this scene, and when I watched it, I was just thinking of Big Mouth, so I started laughing, and it was so inappropriate.
Such a dork. I mentioned, as far as the mother's house, though, is the flag that is in her window, in her kitchen window, that they used to put up back in the day for their the military in the home. The sons or the husbands that went off to fight, they had a little flag, and it's just, I think it's yellow and red. I think the red stripe, and it's just a yellow, or is it white?
I can't remember.
I think it's white. It's white and red. Anyway, and then the number of stars. The stars indicate how many people in the household are in the military or out fighting. And, it's not something we do anymore. Now, people will just, they put up the branch or whatever flag, like a Marine flag or, Army flag or whatever for the most part. And that's about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just because maybe most people would just have one star. I don't know. I don't know why we don't do that no more, but I think it's, it's something missed, I think.
Oh, Cheryl is very patriotic. Just so you know. Yes, you're very patriotic.
I mean, I guess.
Like, I'm pretty hit or miss with it. I'm like, whatever, I'm from America, but she takes a lot of pride in the military. And
well, yeah, because
being in America.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you can say I come from a military family. I am not, never been in the military, but my dad was in the Army. My sister was in the Navy. My stepbrother was in the Armed Forces. And my ex was in the Marines and the National Guards. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I got everybody.
I haven't served.
Oh, my grandfather was in the Army. But I don't know much about that one, so I can't tell you everything there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, this next scene that we go into is like when the Eternal, or the Army Sergeant, or whatever, like the head of the Army, I can't remember what he was called, but.
I don't know.
Where they were all standing in that circle and they were talking about the Ryan family, which I thought that this whole scene was pretty corny too.
Oh, Okay,
But
I know. I thought you were out in the field
I,
already.
I will
Sorry.
say that the guy that was standing there telling the general how stupid this mission was, which and was the historical consultant for this film, Colonel Dave Dye, which Dale Dye. I'm sorry, Dale Dye, which I thought was a pretty hard name, but yeah, this guy, he actually served in World War II, got a lot of medals, pretty impressive specimen of a man. But yeah, he actually cameoed in this scene. But yeah, this scene, they just kind of talked about how they had to get the fourth Ryan brother out for glory, and then they ended up reading that letter from Abraham Lincoln, and yeah, it was just kind of corny, huh?
I mean, a little bit.
I thought it was
But
so
at the same
corny,
time,
man.
like I said, I don't know. I think they could have maybe
Like,
done
I
it
had
a little
starch
different
coming out of my
way.
ears.
But I mean, it was just to show how much it means to get him out alive. How much we have to do this.
Yeah, for the
Because-
glory of the
Not stop.
whatever.
I can't believe we're having such, I don't know, conflict, I guess you could say, with this film.
Oh, it's just
My
these
goodness.
scenes. It's just these scenes,
Okay, so if you're off somewhere and we need Cyber, we'll tell you, nope, don't bring him because he thinks it's a stupid mission, so we're not going to go hunt for him.
Well, realistically,
Or
they
remains.
wouldn't have gone this far with the mission, man.
How do you know?
Because I
You don't
know.
think that,
No.
especially back then, that
No,
people
that was
wouldn't have gone?
a waste of military resources.
No. I don't think so. I think they would have found. I think they would have at least tried
Okay.
somewhere. In some way.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I'm
Oh,
gonna
my
light that up or something. I'm pretty sure. I can't see. I'm sorry. I just can't see, the military sitting there saying,
Yeah.
well, too bad. Let the woman suffer with all of her sons dying.
They
I'm sorry.
probably would,
Nuh-uh. No way.
Well, we left
Especially
all them
after the
soldiers in
law.
Nam, man.
So, but especially after that law thing because it's actually a law now,
It's not.
right?
It is a law, but laws are broken in time of
Oh
war,
my
man.
goodness. Just get out of here. Go on to the next part.
Okay, well, pretty much the next part, you just kind of see, that, Tom Hanks, gets the mission and he rings his guys up and they go for a walk,
They go for a walk.
Well, they
You're
got to
not gonna
march to
you're
find
not
him.
even, You're not even talking about how he got the rookie?
Well, I mean, did you want to talk about that?
No, I just
No.
didn't know because it was kind of a little bit of a funny scene.
It was kind of a funny
Because,
scene.
rookie didn't know. Omen?
Upham.
Upham. Didn't
Upham.
have no, Upham. There we go.
Yeah.
That's right. Upham.
Yeah, he went when...
Yeah, he didn't know anything. He's
so
just like...
basically, the crew, it was, Tom Hanks, Tom Sizemore, Edward Burns, Adam Goldberg, Barry Pepper, Giovanni Ribisi, and Vin Diesel were all in a crew, and their interpreter died. They were storming the beaches of Omaha, so they had to find another interpreter, which was Upham, which was portrayed by Jeremy Davies, and he was real nervous. He was real nervous about going on a field mission, and Tom Hanks was telling him come on, grab your stuff, let's go. And he's grabbing his typewriter, and he's like, do I bring this? Tom Hanks just holds up a pencil, and then he grabs a German helmet, Tom Hanks is like, you're bringing a souvenir. And yeah, it was pretty funny, and you got it real quick that he didn't want to be there, But yeah, and then I don't know, the other thing that I'll say about this film though is that the chemistry between all the actors was absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had to go on a boot camp together, which I think really showed throughout the film. They did a 6-month boot camp before they shot this. And yeah, you could really tell, And
Yeah, they acted like brothers.
they did, man.
Really?
They acted
I mean,
like a
with
brotherhood,
the kind of back talk,
Yeah.
picking on each other type thing, but respecting each other at the same time, knowing that everybody in that thing has your back. It's just all totally brotherhood.
Yeah. And
And you could see it.
yeah, man, blood
Feel
of
it.
the covenant is thicker than water of the womb, which basically just means, you go through shit with strangers, you end up closer than you do with your own brothers back home, But, you know, they end up finding a city, and they run into another cameo, Paul Giovanni, which the only thing I can remember him from is he was in the Howard Stern film. But he's been in a lot of films, and he's always just been kind of a character actor. Oh, he was Rhino in the sequel to Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, I just love that actor. Like, he just cracks me up. He's a proud Jewish man. He prominently only takes on Jewish roles, as does Goldman.
Mm-hmm.
He prominently only takes on Jewish roles, which I commend them for that. But yeah, they kind of roll up on this city, and it's under siege. There's American soldiers, there's German soldiers, you know, there's civilians there, but you know, you kind of go into this, and this is where we find this is when Caparzo dies around the time. You know, because they're trying to navigate through the city, and they find that family
we're there,
in that dilapidated building.
Yes, you're right. That is the first city we come to.
Yeah, the father is asking the American soldiers to take his daughter, which Captain Miller is like, no, we don't take kids. And Caparzo, acted by Vin Diesel, which he says he takes her anyway. He says, she reminds me of my niece. And Captain Miller, he like rips the girl out of Caparzo's arms, and while Caparzo's trying to argue with him, he gets shot by a sniper, and it just comes out of nowhere. I think it's like probably my second favorite death scene in this film. Because
good the way he died. I don't know. And
it came out of nowhere. You know, like the first time you see it, you don't know it's coming.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And he just collapses, and he's like laying there.
And we'll see, and he doesn't even totally collapse. I mean, he tries
to catch himself.
And he's kind of like,
just didn't have any strength left in him.
And it's just like, and that's what made him feel, and that's what not that death is a good thing, but I mean, that's what I really liked about his dying scene, is the way he actually died. It wasn't just like in most movies, it's like bang, and you're just straight down. You know, and you're not sitting there going, and overreacting either.
Yeah,
you know.
He just looked shocked. He looked really shocked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But of course, then one of my favorite lines is, you know, at the end of all that mist, and they got the shooter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then the captain comes in and says, that's why we don't take children.
Yep.
You know, so.
Yep. But yeah, and, you know, I think what happened, though, is that I think that Vin Diesel didn't actually die in this scene. I think he slipped into a coma, and the Nazis got him and realized that he wasn't dead but in a coma. So they froze him, trying to figure out how to study his DNA. But then when they collapsed, they forgot about him, and he woke up in the year 2001, unfrozen. And when he came back to America and figured out all his family was dead, he learned in World War II that you can build a whole new family if you want to. And that's why Dominic Toretto, that's why family is everything to him. That's his character in the Fast movies.
Oh.
In the Fast and the Furious.
Okay. I think you've had too much Pepsi today.
Maybe. And then the next scene that you kind of come into is when Paul Giovanni sits down and he knocks that wall down, and all those Germans behind that wall.
That was kind of good. That was, and like, you dork.
You see Ted Danson just needing a beer. He's just standing there like, God, I need a beer.
Here comes another.
Ted Danson is known for Cheers. You know?
I think everybody pretty much knows that.
I bet you a lot of people my age don't know that. Thank you.
Oh, no. It's
but
pretty popular. And it was in the 90s. That movie actually came, or that show came out in the
I thought it was the late 80s.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the early 90s. It might have been maybe 89.
I was born in the early 90s.
Well, still. I don't know.
And when they meet Ted Danson, they have a private James Ryan with them. This is about an hour into the film. And, it's the wrong James Francis Ryan. It's James Francis Ryan from Minnesota, not James Francis Ryan from Iowa.
He even said James Frederick Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, was it Frederick?
Yeah. It was James Frederick. No, James Frederick Ryan from Minnesota.
Which this was another cameo from Nathan Fillion from Firefly and Castle. Which, yeah, I didn't even recognize him. He is such a baby in this film. He's so young. I know you don't know who that is.
I don't.
He's another sitcom actor, but
I'm sure I
he's
don't
kind of a
watch it.
teenage heartthrob. I like him. He's a pretty good actor, but yeah, they end up telling this other Private Ryan that his brothers are dead, and he's like, oh, but they're in grammar school. And then Tom Hanks is just like,
Wrong person,
Yeah.
sorry. Go back to
Yeah.
your life. Like I never said anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, man.
but I mean, in his defense, I mean, what are you supposed to do now? It's like, okay, you're the wrong one. I mean,
Yeah.
you just like, you got to go on with your mission. You can't be like all of a sudden, comforting him and worrying about him right now when you need to go find the right one. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it
I
was
know
kind of harsh that he just like,
Yeah.
okay,
He was
fine.
pretty upset. But speaking of going on, I think this is a good place to stop this video.
okay.
We're gonna probably release this. We're gonna release this video on the third Sunday of July, and then we'll release the second part a few days later.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the next week. I was
Yeah,
like, I
just
didn't think we were
because-
going to wait that long.
Just because it's so long, we're taking so long. We thought we'd break it up. You guys seem to like it when we have the shorter videos. We're already way over. Goodbye for now. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with all your friends and family, and remember to keep
Watching movies.